Hey guys, happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. We are here and live, just for a short, brief moment. I am so excited. First of all, because I have my mom sitting here with me. Say hi, mother. Hi. I have my mom here with me tonight, but I am going to bring on some other ladies shortly. So what I am doing is introducing another layer of what I do with Make It Rise, the healing portion after divorce. This is for the women. So we are working on a journal called Seasons of Divorce. Now, how many of you know that there are seasons of divorce? There's seasons of healing in general, but we are talking about divorce. Let me back up. Y'all see me? Y'all see this finger and this hand? I cut myself not once, but twice with a knife. That's a long story. Once yesterday and then once this afternoon, and it's been a mess. But anyway, I don't want y'all to think I'm all messed up. Well, I am, but you keep seeing me talk with my hands and these bandages, but it was a whole situation, you guys. But anyway, so we are working on this journal. And the goal with this journal is to talk about the seasons of divorce, understanding that there are so many things that we go through as we try or attempt to heal. We know that there is a process in that thing, right? And it's not just one way of doing it. There's multiple ways of doing it. And you may feel one way today and another way tomorrow. You may feel one way today and another way the next minute. So let's be clear on that. And so God gave me the vision to do this journal that will be rolling out in December of 2022. He told me to bring along 12 other women that are going to share a quote about divorce. Well, not about divorce, but a quote from them to the reader. And then there will be journal prompts to get them to writing and sharing and just getting stuff out. You know, how often have we gone through something, and we're talking about divorce, so divorce in general. How often have we gone through it, or we've been sitting in it and not really knowing where to start? You know, even with prayer, sometimes you are stuck. Like, okay, so now what am I supposed to say to God? But that's the opportunity that we should use, knowing that those prayers that we sent up long time ago when things were right. That's why it's good to pray in season and out of season. Those things that the timber, as my mom and my dad used to say, the timber that we sent up during the bad times is what God is going to withdraw, what we're going to be withdrawing when we're in that time where we don't know what to say, right? We don't know where to go. We don't know who to talk to. Who can we trust out of embarrassment? You know, you're ashamed. You're angry, you're bitter, you just don't know what's going on, all different types of emotions, and the emotions are the seasons, right? And so I am honored that God has given me this vision to start this project. And I'll be talking about those 4 seasons. And again, these ladies will come in and they will share for each month. So the ladies that I have on tonight, they are here representing the month that they are sharing in the book, in the journal. We have a couple of ladies from January through June that were not able to make it, but I did have some of my ladies from the latter end of the year to come on tonight. And so I'm excited to bring them on. I'm going to ask them a few questions. You guys, please share, ask questions, drop things in the comments, and I am going to do my best to pay attention to them and respond accordingly. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the ladies, and I'll allow them to introduce themselves to you, and they will share what month that they are representing. So give me a second, and I'm going to get them in one by one, but we are coming. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Thank you so much once again for coming on with me today. And not only that, but thank you so much for locking arms with me for this project in general. I always say, once you say yes to me on a project, you have just become a part of the Make It Rise family that's helping me push the vision. And most people don't know, but the vision of Make It Rise is about healthy marriages, right? And so one would think that this is a little confusing because she's talking about this journal for divorcees, but her mission for her business, her vision for her business is for healthy marriages. Well, in order for you to be a healthy wife or husband, you must first be the healthy individual. And so if you became an individual, a single woman or a single man as a result of divorce, I want to hold your hand and walk you through this thing and show you that there is life after divorce. And so I thank you, ladies, for joining me tonight. And in this process of creating and writing this journal, it is going to be so much fun because it's not just the journal. And in this process of creating and writing this journal, it is going to be so much fun. Are y'all getting feedback from me? Yes. Yeah, it's like a double, right? I think.
What about if everybody mutes while you're talking?
Yeah.
I don't have a screen now.
No, you're good. I think somebody may have been looking at it on their phone as well. And so it was doubling up, but that's okay. So I'm going to have Lady Flo, since you are January, pop on, back on, and just share your name, share who you are, and what month you're representing.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lady Flo, and my month is January. January is my birthday, so I'm truly, truly excited.
Yes. And if you actually chose your month, tell us why you chose that month. I'm gonna go behind this first quarter of the year, Kim, because you stepped in for someone today. So go ahead and let us know your name, your month, and why you chose that month.
My name is Kimmy. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hi. Happy Sunday. I chose October. October has so many meanings for me in my life. It's my birthday month, and it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And since I am a daily fighter of breast cancer, an advocate for early detection breast cancer, October just was the perfect month for me to represent in this journal.
Love it. Miss Annette.
Okay, can you still see me because I can't see anybody? It's something. Okay, good. Okay.
We see you and hear you.
All right. Okay. My name is Annette Daniels, and I am representing the month of July. And the reason for that is that someone had my birthday month, but it's all good. And actually, her birthday is the same as mine, June 2nd. That's Deanne Elaine, but it's okay. So that's me. Thank you.
Awesome. Latrice.
Good evening. I'm Latrice Jones, and I'm representing the month of March. And it is my birthday month as well as my daughter's birthday month and my mom's birthday month. I also thought it was symbolic because it is representing a spring, which is often new beginnings.
Awesome. And last but not least, my queen. Your name and the month you're representing.
Hi, my name is Loretta Davis. I'm Tam's mother. She picked my month, which is May.
Yes.
And I'm glad to be on with you ladies and to do what I can do or say what I can do to help someone in the process. So let's get going.
All right, ladies. So as I said, I am going to ask 3 questions. Our goal is to help a listener, to help a viewer, and just to get the word out there about the journal that we are working on that will be released in December of 2022 and ready and available in hand for the ladies that will be able to grow from this in January of 2023. So my first question I am going to ask is going to Latrice. Latrice, what encouraged you to join this project?
You know, Tam, honestly, so I have a business as well called LJ Speaks, and my goal is to empower women. And so when I saw your project, it spoke to my soul. I think for me, when I decided to divorce more than 10 years ago, it was one of the most difficult decisions of my life. It was the first decision that I had ever made in my life that was against the norm and against what my family thought was right for me. but it was the first time that I had made a decision that I was going to choose me first. And where I knew there's consequences, and I don't advocate divorce, it was something that I needed to do for me. And this was an opportunity for me to tell other women that it's okay to choose yourself. And of course, there's consequences, and we can talk about that biblically. We can talk about that in society. But when it's all said and done, we need to be good with ourselves as women and as mothers and as sisters. And if there's an opportunity for me to do that for another sister, I'm there.
Absolutely. I love that answer. There's a few things that you said. One being you gave yourself permission to just do what was best for you, right? Too often in marriage, unfortunately, we are told, given the wrong definition of what submission is, what it looks like to submit, right? And we take on a role of putting ourselves, our desires, our goals, our dreams to the side because I have to be a wife. And now don't get me twisted. Being a wife is your role. That is what you're supposed to be. But at the same time, we're individuals. And so you still have to learn how to not balance, because I don't use the word balance, but bring into harmony what it is that you do into the home so that it can be beneficial to the home, right? And what I've learned as I have been moving forward with this healing process with divorced women, I've learned that oftentimes they have divorced and then they say to themselves, who am I? What am I supposed to do? How do I move forward? You know, because they've been known as Mrs. So-and-so, the husband's name, and not necessarily the wife of or Mrs. and whatever her name is, right? Tamara Johnson, the wife of Joe Johnson, right? That's what should have been said. But a lot of times it's, hey, Joe's wife, you know how the kids do in school. Hey, Imari's mommy, right? Instead of, they don't know my name, they know my role, right? And oftentimes our roles become so much greater than our purpose in life. And your purpose, you being a wife is a part of your purpose. But guess what? I am here to tell you that there's so many different avenues and so many different things about you that God created that he wants you to show and shine in that as well. And those are some of the things that are going to take your marriage to the next level. You being who you are. Sometimes those things that actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Some of those things that actually drew him to you, we put it on a back burner. He's like, no, that's why I was attracted to you. But if we weren't told how to continue to do that thing and be a wife, we'll let it go altogether. So thank you, Latrice. Thank you so much. Same question, Kim, same question to you.
What brought me to this, to accept the project, right?
Yes.
God.
That's
God. God told me that I didn't put these assignments. And what I mean by assignments, I'm a student in this thing called life.
Yeah.
And he gives me assignments. Some I want, some I definitely don't want. Mm-hmm. Never asked for, don't want it. But once I'm given it, what am I going to do with it? And so for many years, I didn't do anything with it. You know, didn't do anything with it. Definitely didn't do what God expected for me to do with it. Yeah. So now he has given me the okay that I've blessed you and I've been with you through these journeys. And it's time for you to tell others, to share with others the journey that I brought you through, to give him all the praise, glory, and honor for it.
Yeah.
So this has been nothing but God, and he's given me the tools and the resources to flow in this thing with my journal entry, with my scripture. He gave it all to me. So that's why I'm here.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And another thank you, because you are remarried, right? I always shed light on this because oftentimes we'll get to a point and we'll say, okay, well, I'm done with that area of my life, right? But the fact that you're still willing to share and pour into women who once were in the shoes that who you were once in the shoes of, right? You want to be what you once needed in that time. So I thank you for that, because you could be like, I'm good, I'm married, I got my Boaz. Good luck, lady, heal.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing, that when I was going through that phase in life, that assignment, I didn't have tools. I didn't have the resources. I was trying to do this healing thing on my own. Like I tried to do it on my own. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the, where to go. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to talk to. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I was, sad. I was angry. And I just lived life with those titles, being angry, being sad, being, embarrassed, and making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake for many, many years. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's only right for me to be able to share. If I can share something with somebody and it blesses them or gives them a push to keep moving forward, and then you can see what's on the other side of that thing.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Yes, that's good. And that's what this is about. And that's the only reason why these ladies are sitting here with me, is because I knew that they were about pushing the vision and the mission in this. Thank you, Kim. So Miss Annette.
Yes.
What or how important do you think it is to heal after divorce, and why?
Oh, good question that you gave us. Well, I believe it's extremely important to heal after divorce. It will take time, of course, but in order not to become bitter, healing is a must. It's a must. You got to heal. And I refer to Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's my short little answer.
Yeah, and that's a good one. And then to seal it with the word is even better, because sometimes we don't think that we can do certain things. We don't believe in ourselves because of a couple of hiccups. I just had an experience earlier today that I was going through emotionally and was feeling defeated, rejected, all of those things. And I had to ask myself, why, right? And although I didn't use that scripture, the principle of that scripture came over me. I can do all things, right? But through Christ who strengthens me, because sometimes we try to take on certain tasks on our own with our own strength and our own power and our own thoughts and our own beliefs. And that's not it. We're sometimes leading ourselves deeper into a rabbit hole when we need to ask God, how do I do this thing? Instruct me, direct me. And I want us to understand, to those that are listening, those that will be listening afterwards, sometimes the things that you do, the walk that you are taking will not feel good, right? And those are most of the times where it's God, because how often are you going to put yourself in an uncomfortable position? If God gave us the opportunity to just choose our own way of going through, we wouldn't put ourselves in a position where our backs are up against the wall, because we want everything to be the easy way. And I say, woe to the person that wants to get things the easy way, because the lessons are in the meat of going through things that are going to be a little bit more strenuous, right? So you got to understand that in being stretched as the rubber band, it's in the stretching where the work is being done and where the lesson is being learned. But the destination is just a result of what it is that you did. If you do make it to the destination without doing the work, guess what? You're probably going to have to repeat all over again, because you have to get the lesson. So thank you, Miss Annette, for that scripture, because again, I had to use the principle of that thing earlier today. I was talking to Lady Flo. She said, yeah, you don't sound like yourself. She just told me, like, yeah, I don't like the way you sound. And sometimes you gotta talk to somebody that's gonna just keep it real. And she is one that will tell me good, bad, or indifferent, like, yeah, no, sis, that ain't it, right? And I need that. So thank you again, Annette. Mom, I'm gonna ask you the same question. What? Not what, but how important do you think it is to heal after divorce, and then why?
Well, I think it's very important to heal after a divorce. It's taken me a minute to get there, and I'm not healed all the way now because I still go through some things.
Pause. I'm sorry, you guys, but I had to interject right there because somebody needs to know that you don't heal overnight. Somebody needs to know that it's a process and it's a journey, and that's what this journal is all about. It's about the journey, right? So it doesn't just happen. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, I lost my thought.
I'm
But
sorry.
that's okay. But going through this, I always had Christian people behind me, pushing me, telling me what the Lord said. Although a lot of things that they tell me that, well, you know, the words say this and the words say that. I know this already, but it's good to hear these things sometimes. So it's still, I'm still going through it, but it's not as bad as it was in the beginning. And I just thank God that He brought me this far, and He didn't bring me this far to leave me.
Right. And that's good. So why do you think it's important for us to heal after divorce? Why do you think that's important?
I think it's very important to heal after a divorce, because if you're not healing, that means you're stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be stuck. God don't want you to be stuck. He wants you to move forward toward Him. And the devil will get you in a rut,
Bitter.
talk to your mind, and the devil's not going to tell you nothing good. It's going to sound good to you, but it's not good. It's not what God wants you to do. So it's really good to
heal.
Oh, it's really good to heal going through a divorce, because once you heal, you can put God first and always tell the devil to get behind me, Satan. I was on my way from church today, and the devil just talking to me like the radio was. And I was saying to him, devil, get behind me, because I don't belong to you. I belongs to God. And after I said that, he quieted down, but don't get me wrong, he's coming back.
Yeah.
But I have something for him.
That's right.
Use your best shot. Use your best shot.
I know that's right.
Else
Mhm.
that will shoot a whole lot better and straighter than you.
That's right. Listen,
Yeah.
when you know that you got first of all, the fight has already been fixed when you are a child of God, right? The fight has already been fixed. You will win, right? And you have to tell yourself that daily. You have to speak life over yourself. And you have to trust that the life that you're speaking over yourself is going to come to fruition. And so that means just start walking in that thing, right? Even if you don't see it, you got to see it before you see it, is what I like to say. See it before you see it. And once you see it, it don't matter who else doesn't see it, because you're going to have some naysayers. You're going to have people that say, I can't believe that you are doing this and you going here and all of those things, right? But you have to believe for yourself what God has told you about your own life, right? And not hold on to the things that other folks are putting on you. Because if we do that, we will find ourselves, as you said, stuck in a rut, asking questions in the wrong circle, because now we're looking for the pats on the back and we're looking for validation. And God is our validator, right? He is the one that is going to help us in this process heal and heal properly. So there's a proper way of healing and there is an incorrect way of healing. And so as I can use these my wounds of being cut twice in 2 days, right, by the same doggone knife. I want to say something else, but my mama's sitting here. Look, by the same knife, right? That goes to show me, y'all know I relate everything back to what we're talking about. The same knife, the same enemy, right? Coming to cut me, trying to cut me down, trying to get me discouraged, and literally had me in a place of questioning some things, right? Having had me feeling rejected and just all kinds of different emotions all over the place. I had to check myself, and I had to talk to, my best friend and my good sister on here, and they had to bring, like, look, hey, pull it together, right? And that is what we have to do. As my mom says, she spoke to the enemy and she told him, "Get thee behind me." Speak to him as if he is right there. Just speak directly to him. Do not be afraid of him, because guess what? He's actually afraid of us. He's afraid of anything that is going to bring glory, bring healing, bring loving, all of those things. So we can remove it from the spiritual aspect, but anything that is going to help you love yourself more, anything that is going to help you go forward in, your business, or, being a greater individual, or a greater parent, a better mother, or, daughter, whatever those things are that's going to make you be better, he's trying to hinder you from doing all of those things by doing what it is that he does. And he does a great job at it, you guys.
Mhm.
But as my mom just said, we know a God that is greater than him. And so we're not afraid. We ain't no punks, as my sis said the other night. We ain't no punks. So my last question is going to go to, I lost somebody, but it's okay. My last question is going to go to any of you. I'm just going to throw it out there. What do you hope, or all of you, what do you hope the reader of the journal receives from this as she goes through her year of this process? Because what I like to say is that this is not a marathon. This isn't something you're just going to arrive to. So even though they may read it and they have it all year and they're going through the process accordingly, the way that we have it set up in the journal, they may get to December and still not be completely healed. And that is fine, because again, it is a process and it's a journey. But one thing I can guarantee you is, if you do the work that is going to be presented, if they do the work that's going to be presented in the journal, by the time December come, heck, by the time February come, another layer of healing would have brought itself upon you. Another layer of disappointment would have gone. So it's a process and it's work that has to be done. So ladies, what do you hope the reader of the journal receives from it as she goes through this year reading it? Anybody?
You want me to go? I can go.
Yeah.
Look, you guys said a lot. I got a lot to say. No, not for real. But even going back to what Mom said about the healing, you have to heal, because if you don't, you hurt yourself, you hurt others, you hurt people that don't even deserve to be hurt when you don't do the healing. I know I didn't start healing until I started taking responsibility for my actions and why. So once I started taking responsibility for my actions and the why, then I began to start healing. It took me years and years and years. I mean, just like you said, it may not be by December. It took me years and many mistakes and many obstacles, but trying to prevent someone that's going through it now from going through that by this journal can help prevent you going through so many years as I did. So if we can give you some tools right now to get you started, to start shedding off some of that stuff, then that's what I hope that this journal will do. Will help each and every one to reset, to restart, just do a redo. And it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with having to do a redo.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with it. It's better to do a redo than to stay in something that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
So if each reader can get in tune with the self and show that self and get in tune with yourself to start that love for yourself. It's nothing like loving yourself. And it's definitely it's nothing like being in love with yourself.
Yeah.
Being in love with yourself is one of the most amazing feelings ever. You got to get there. You got to get there. And it takes time, and it takes, some shedding and some layers and some days, but you can get there. Absolutely. You can get there. Just Absolutely. Reset.
I like the reset, restart, and redo. We have to remember that means to do over, right? Again, do it again. And so what that word is attached to it, set, right? That means you once was set, right? So whether you saw yourself as set before, whether you saw yourself as started before, or whether you've seen yourself as doing before, God saw you as that because that's what he created you to do. He created you to be set up for him. He created you to start the move, the work for him. He created you to do his work, right? So if you find yourself in a place of being stuck, if you find yourself in a place of being hindered from doing all of those things, even if you didn't know that you had the power to do those things, we're here to say to you, yes, you can. Yes, you will. There is life after divorce, and it's time to redo it, and we're here to help you. So if any other lady want to answer that question, what do you hope that the reader receive after or during reading this journal?
I would agree. I know tonight's the night of the 3 R's. You know, for me, it's rebuild, reverse, and rebound. You know, I want women to know that, you know, you are enough and that there is more in life and that, you know, God will continue to bless you and follow you. And it may not always be easy, but it definitely will be worth it. You know, I want women to know not to give up and that there is a village there that's supporting and rooting and that all they need to do is take that first step and continue on that journey to continue to choose themselves. It's okay to choose themselves, and there will be a reward.
Absolutely. Choosing yourself is definitely one of the most important things in this process, in this journey. Lady Flo, let me ask you a question as it relates to choosing yourself. Now, you and I, we friends, you my girl, you my dog, you're my, my prayer partner, all of those things, right? And we've shared some very intimate things with each other about ourselves, right? And so you know for a fact that there's been times in, my history, my past, that I didn't choose myself. I chose other folks and then I chose me, right? Mm-hmm. Can you share the importance of choosing yourself and then what's birthed from choosing yourself?
Well, acknowledging yourself is very, very important. The more you put yourself on the back burner for others, the more you feel depressed, the more you feel left out, the more you feel alienated. And a lot of times it's because you have not chose yourself yet. So it is very important to choose you first, and not just the good parts of you, but also the sides of you that you may not like. Because a lot of times we'll choose the best part of us and throw the worst opportunities that we need to fix on the back burner. And what it does is it allows us to suppress that so we never have a chance to heal that. So even in the healing process, me and my sister talk about, I have a coaching class that I'm a coach, and life spiritual is balance holistically. And in that thing is millionaire shades of me. Not just the good things, but falling in love with every shade of me. Yeah. The depression, the anger, the jealous, whatever it is. Because what it allows you to do is when it comes, you can recognize it and say, hey, I'm not going to do this the same way. Let's start this process. Let's start this process. That's why I love the book, The Journey to Healing. It's just like Peter. Peter was on the water. He wanted to walk on the water, right? Mm-hmm. He wanted to walk on the water. So, come on. So he began to drown. Okay, if the word says, if we have faith of a mustard seed is all we need, right?
Yeah.
Since Peter had that faith, why didn't Jesus just carry him to the other side with him? Why did he take him back to the boat?
Yeah.
Because he knew who Peter was in the beginning.
Yeah.
He told Peter who he was, but he knew there was a process that Peter was going to have to go through. Mm-hmm. And not all good. He was going to have to cut some people out. He was going to have to cut some ears off. He was going to have to deny Jesus 3 times before he was the greatest apostle to save 5,000 immediately.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we want to detour from the process, and the process is us first.
Yeah.
Peter's process was him first. Learning how to control your emotions, learning how to do those things, learning how to fall in love with me, learning how to take me out to lunch, learning how to take me out to dinner, learning how to appreciate who I am.
Mhm.
We want others to appreciate us, but we don't appreciate or love ourselves.
Yeah.
No one can love you with the love that you love yourself with. And
Yeah.
a lot of times in relationships, that's why we fell short, because the love we're missing, we're looking for someone else to give it to us first.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
if we're not in love with ourselves first, it will not happen.
Yeah.
There's no
That's
way.
good.
You will stay stuck until you learn who you are, what you like, and begin to like, hey, write down what you desire to have in a man.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you write it down, ask yourself, are you built for that?
That
Because a lot
part.
of times
Ooh, that's good.
what we want, we're not built for. Neither do we want to do the process. Neither do we want to look ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, Lady Flo, you can't lie to yourself. And let the process of the love for me, from me, the love for me, from me, for the
Mhm.
process to begin.
Yeah.
It always, what it does is it eliminates everyone else and points the finger back at you to
Yeah.
really find out who you are. Because a lot of times in life, what life has faced us with and brought in our lives and things we did not experience, it's caused us to look at ourselves from a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to do that and to clean your lenses off and get your glasses redone is to begin to research you and fall in love with you again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I really did. I love spaghetti. No, you love spaghetti because your husband loves spaghetti. Then you
Yeah.
go to think, I didn't like spaghetti. It's
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the football games. No, I love football because my husband at the time that I was married to loved football, but I really don't like football.
Right. Yeah.
And then
That's
you begin
good.
to appreciate yourself. Now I'm gonna stop. I'm done.
That's good, sis. That's
That's
good.
good.
And
That's
one
good.
thing I always talk about as you talk about looking at yourself, doing what you need to do for yourself, loving yourself. I have this ministry I call the mirror ministry, right? So I always talk about looking in the mirror and not out the window at others, because when we're looking out the window at others, we tend to become very judgmental, right? But if we don't pass that mirror. Look at yourself. If you want to do some judging, judge yourself, but judge yourself according to what God has called you to do. But how do you judge yourself according to what God has called you to do if you don't know what God has called you to do? So first thing first, you got to find out what your purpose is, what it is that he has for you to do, right? And you said something about asking God, or writing down what you want in a man. When we talk to these singles and we share, what is it that you want in a man? Okay, this list looks amazing. This is great, right? But do you have the capacity to even hold some of those things that this man is going to bring? Or are you ready for that? Because maybe God is still working on you to be available for that type of person, but there's still work. So maybe in your patience, there's going to be some things that you have to do, and not be so impatient wanting to just jump there. There is a process and there's a journey to getting to any destination. You don't just arrive, right? We're born and then we die at some point. Some people are born already, it's stillbirth, right? But guess what? There was formation initially in the mother's womb. So whether it was formed in the womb and then they, died a couple of months later, there still was a journey. There still was a process in that. If you're born and someone died at the age of 50, there was some things that happened between birth and 50 years old, birth and death. What happened in between is what's the meat of that person's life. Because once he or she passed away, that particular thing, death, is just that. And that's not to sound hard or anything like that, but it's just that. It's the things that happen between that make us miss them. It's the things that happen in between that give us those 2 minutes of words we need to say at the funeral. So it's that stuff. So again, this has been an amazing live, and we're just sharing a little bit about what it is and why it is we're doing what we're doing for this journal, The Seasons of Divorce. the journal Journey to Healing. I want to say again to you ladies, I appreciate you. Is there anything that either of you want to say before we go ahead and log off? Annette, you have anything you want to say?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
To the last question that you said, I just want to add that I hope that the ladies receive that being divorced does not define them, and it is not does not define their characteristic, and that ultimately they should put their trust in God. And
That's right.
Yes.
but divorce does not define any of us.
Yeah.
And I've been
Yeah.
twice,
That's right.
and it does not define me. Divorce does not define
That's
me.
right.
That's right.
So
That's
that's
right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I like that. Thank you. Thank you. You know, often we say, I got you. Often we say who I am versus what I am or what I do, right? We mix the definition of what we were purposed to do or what our purpose is versus what our titles are, right? I remember doing an interview some time ago and I talked about, you know, yes, I'm a leader in the church and I work for the LA County Sheriff's Department and I'm a speaker and I'm a wife and I'm a mother, right? I laid out all of those things because before I knew who I was, that's who I was. Right. And so then I had to begin to think after going through divorce, I had to ask myself, okay, so you're not a wife, but does that chip away at who you are? Right. When your children get grown and they gone, does that take away from who you are as a person? You know, what if you're not doing leadership in church anymore? Does that remove who you are? What when you retire from LA County Sheriff's Department? Now what? Right. So when all of these titles are removed from my list of things that I do, who is Tam? That's the question. The question is, who are you? And one of the best examples or analogies that I give is about a chair. You know, the chair was created, designed, made for us to sit on, and whether one person sit on it or nobody sit on it, that is what it was designed to do. So you have to figure out what were you designed to do, and guess what? Do that thing. Rather one person show up or 1,000 people show up, you still give it the same energy. There's a scripture that says, do everything as if you're doing it unto the Lord, right? Mm-hmm. And so that means if I have to speak to one person of a room that will seat 1,000 people, I have to still be encouraged in knowing that this message is just for that person. And heck, sometimes the message is just for me. And so I got to be okay with looking in the mirror sometimes and not out the window. Yeah. So you were about to say something, Ma?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what you said earlier about there's a process from you said you when you were born until the time that you leave here. Mm-hmm. I heard a sermon once before, and I want the ladies to really like concentrate. You probably heard this sermon. What are you doing in your dash time? Mm-hmm. And when I heard this sermon, I said, what do he mean by dash? But what he meant is, okay, you was born in 1975, and you leave here in 2025. Okay, what were you doing in your 1975 dash?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what were you doing in your dash time? That's what matters. Mm-hmm. What are you doing in your dash time? That is what God wants you to know how to come into his word and, you know, do the right thing. Just do the right thing in your dash time.
Yeah, do the right thing. Sometimes we try and be so deep, right? Just do the right thing. Just do the righteous thing. You know, we were like, you know, and you have to do it this way. It's too deep. You too deep. That was me before, trying to church you to death, right? It's that's too much. So I'm gonna give you the practicalities of this thing, right? And then if you want to take it to the word, we can do that as well. And what I don't know, guess what? God has given me some mentors and some sisters and some brothers that are willing to share the word with me and break it down so that I can understand it, so that I can teach it against what it is that I'm teaching. And so that is good. The dash, what are you doing in your dash? And that is what's going to count. With the dash is the journey. The dash is the process. What are you doing in that dash of your life? Very good. Anybody else want to share something before we get off of here? No? All right. Well, I want to say to our viewers, thank you so much for joining. Veronica, thank you, dog. Ashley, thank you for coming on. Gantry, bro, thanks. Good looking out. I appreciate you, Tanya. Thank you. All of you that came on, to those of you who shared the video, thank you. We appreciate it. We just want somebody to know that there is life after divorce, and we want you to live it loud. And when we say live it loud, we mean unapologetically. We mean to remove any insecurities. We mean to remove any doubt, right? And we mean to stand 10 toes down, very erect, and saying that, yes, I was divorced, but it does not, as Ned said, it does not define who I am, right? Hey, listen, the best is yet to come, but what will you be doing when the best arrive? And that is the question that I want to leave with you. Thank you, ladies, so much once again for joining me tonight. We're going to do this again with the other half of the ladies that's in the journal next Sunday, same time, 5 o'clock, YouTube and on Facebook Live. And we're going to have a few questions for those ladies as well. Please tell a friend, tell a foe, share it, and we'll see you then. Bye, you guys.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.